Hello, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
So if you caught our story about the 5 bargain bourbons under $30, when I went to the store that day, I happened to pick up a Larceny Barrel Proof C924. So we're going to taste that today, and we're pretty excited about it. The MSRP on this is $65. However, in Indiana, I paid $89.99. The age is 6 to 8 years old. The mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. The proof on this comes in at a very nice 125.1.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm excited to try this one. Let's see how the nose is.
Okay. Well, I'm getting cherry and honey.
My first senses bringing dark chocolate, which is odd for me on the nose.
A little bit of smokiness.
Maybe some leather. What's the spice? It could be like a nutmeg. Or maybe a clove. Hard to say. Shall we taste it?
Yep, sounds good. Cheers.
I am loving this profile.
Oh, I get a little bit of coffee, chocolate, maybe a tad bit of cherry.
Some cinnamon notes. The oak, definitely getting some oakiness on this.
There we go.
But I'm loving it. It's almost like a deep, dark chocolate mocha coffee bean kind of experience. It's warm in a good way. Not from the proof, it's warm from the flavors. Maybe a little hint of clove.
Well, the cinnamon for me is kind of like a red hot. Normally I don't get candy type stuff. I guess I was deprived as a child and didn't get much candy. I don't know, but I do get red hot in this case. Very good.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because if I go back to the nose after tasting it, it does have a confectionery kind of vibe to it, like confectionery sugar, or even, what is it, cotton candy somewhat. It's very sweet on the nose, but that didn't quite translate to the palate. The palate is a lot richer, darker. They're both very yummy though. I mean, I'm digging this dark chocolate and coffee note mostly. It's a little surprising for a wheater. Let's talk about the finish. It is still there for me. It's just hanging on in a very lovely way.
It's hanging around and hanging around and hanging around. Cinnamon, leather,
dark chocolate.
Well, is it what type of chocolate do you think it is?
Well, with the cinnamon notes, I'm leaning toward that feeling, that vibe of Mexican hot chocolate again. I had that one day last week when we were drinking something, and I'm picking that up again in this Larceny bottle.
Yeah, my sister might like that because she is Hispanic and likes Mexican chocolate, except the only problem, she doesn't like bourbon. But anyway, that's
another story.
But
there are some notes of nutmeg. See, I went back and forth between, was on the nose and palate, was it clove or nutmeg? On the finish, I'm feeling it's definitely the nutmeg. The coffee bean is still there too. I like the finish a lot.
It's very good.
It is not surprising it's the fall release, because it tastes a little bit like a fall bourbon. I think it's great. Shall we try it with the cranberry?
Why not? It's sitting right here for obvious reasons. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we might as well do it.
Cranberry it is. Dried cranberry. Made it a lot spicier for me.
Oh yeah.
and brighter. It brightened it up with some fruit notes.
Fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a tangerine.
Mm-hmm. Very almost summery. So I just said it was very fall tasting, and now with the cranberry, it's tasting like spring or summer.
Yeah, it's like a multi-seasonal drink here, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't want to miss this. I'm going to have another little sip with that because that was very good. Yeah, that's really interesting, and I like it. It's a nice profile. Let's try it with the pecan after we have a sip of water. I want to make sure I don't have any residual sugars from that. Now, the pecan often brings out tannins, and it often brings out dark chocolate for me, so I can't wait to see what it does with the pecan now.
Not only that, it also brings out the pecan in the pecan. Yeah, very important.
Oh, the dark chocolate just got so rich. I lost the coffee.
It's still spicy to me.
What kind of spice are you getting?
I'm not honestly sure. It's very spicy though. It's maybe paprika. It's something
Different.
Yeah.
For me, the pecan, because it often interacts so well with the barrel, I feel like I'm getting oak spices and notes from the barrel. So sometimes it's a sweet oak. This time I'm getting like a spicy oak note from it, some leather, and that. But the dark chocolate is just amazing. I've got to have another sip for the pecans done. Yeah, that's good.
I'm a little bit envious of you because I don't get the chocolate in it, and pecan usually brings out the chocolate. I am getting like this almost a Bloody Mary like type spice, which I enjoy. So I really love a good spicy Bloody Mary with bourbon. By the way, that's the best way to do it.
And I think that's technically called a Bloody Mary Ann if you want to order it in the bar.
Yeah.
But your bartender may go, huh? So
yeah.
Anyway, let's do a palate cleansing after that pecan. Now let's see what dark chocolate does with these massive chocolate notes we've been getting. Sometimes it mutes it. We'll see.
Well, it brought out the creaminess for me.
Ditto.
A little smoky. Finish is really muted. Not bad.
It's interesting because the creaminess and the chocolate brought me back to the neat taste of an even deeper and richer Mexican hot chocolate. Because it had more sweet notes than it did neat, and the chocolate had more depth, and the cinnamon had more pops. It's more like chili pops, like chili pepper pops.
Yeah.
Unlike earlier when it was neat, it was more cinnamon. This is great.
The cinnamon,
I liked it every way. I think
the way you just described it in the back is, for my palate, is really accurate. It's a lot of spicy pops between almost a pepper and a cinnamon, and it sort of bounces back and forth.
And I'm noticing that with the dark chocolate, the finish has returned to be really long and lingering and luscious. It is a wonderful finish with the dark chocolate. I highly recommend that. So, did you dislike any of the pairings we did?
They were all okay. I personally preferred it neat the best.
Well, that we always like it neat best.
Of the three. Probably of the three, believe it or not, this is the one time I would go with the cranberry. The Cran actually, I thought, brought out a multitude of different flavors.
Well, I agree with it. I almost always like it neat best, but looking at the three pairings, and I usually pick pecan, I'm going to actually pick dark chocolate today. So we each pick something different than we normally select. It just tells you this is a versatile bourbon, and it would probably go well with just about any part of your meal pairing you might be doing, or if you had a charcuterie board out for your guests coming over. I think this would pair well with just about anything you'd put out. It would be amazing. So we'll wrap that up then here today. I have to say I would get a bottle of this, and I may have to go see if there's a second one available. It's really good.
It's excellent. It's worth it. Cheers.
So please drink responsibly, and always remember to subscribe to Your Bourbon Journey, because don't you want to see what we have going on next? Cheers.
I hope so. Thank you. Cheers.